a whisper carries farther in the darkness, and throughout history, some whispers have traveled across centuries, guarded, coded, and spoken only behind closed doors by those who claimed to possess knowledge too dangerous for ordinary people. Knowledge that could heal or destroy. Imagine a small circle of figures gathered around a fire thousands of years ago. Their faces are steady, their voices hushed, their symbols etched into stone. They believe they are custodians of a truth older than the stars, a truth that must never fall into the wrong hands. This is the story of secret societies, the hidden orders whose rituals, symbols, and teachings have shaped kings, toppled empires, and quietly guided the course of human civilization. Their names echo with both reverence and fear. Some were real, some were exaggerated, others still defy explanation. It begins deep in the ancient world, long before anyone spoke of knights, lodges, or conspiracies, when the line between magic, science, and divine mystery was still blurred. In ancient Sumer, priests known as the energies guarded the knowledge of the gods. They weren't just religious figures. They were astronomers, mathematicians, healers. The movements of the stars, the cycles of the moon, the rituals of kingship, these were secrets entrusted to a chosen few. Those outside the temple walls might have believed these priests were communing with supernatural beings, but in reality, they were studying the universe with remarkable sophistication. Their knowledge was power, and power demanded secrecy. Across the Nile, Egyptian priests worked within labyrinthine temples filled with scrolls of sacred geometry and medicinal recipes. They understood how to mummify bodies with surgical precision, how to align monumental temples with celestial bodies, how to predict the flooding of the Nile. Ordinary citizens weren't allowed to read these texts. Only initiates, trained through years of discipline, gained access. Some say the Egyptians possessed a Book of Thoth, a legendary volume said to hold the secrets of the cosmos, so dangerous that whoever read it could speak to animals, control the weather, even awaken the dead. Historians argue whether it truly existed, but the legend persists, ancient knowledge, lost or hidden. As centuries passed, societies grew more complex, and so did their hidden orders. In Greece, the Eleusinian mysteries offered something rare. Not wealth, not political influence, but a promise. Initiates believed that by participating in secret rites dedicated to the goddess Demeter, they would gain insight into the afterlife and free themselves from the fear of death. What happened inside the hall of initiation was so secret that speaking of it was punishable by death. Despite this, people traveled from every corner of the Greek world to be part of it. Even emperors sought entry. Not far away, another group was quietly shaping the foundation of Western philosophy. Followers of Pythagoras, the mathematician we associate with triangles, lived by strict rules, shared their discoveries only with sworn members, and believed numbers themselves were sacred. Pythagoras didn't simply teach mathematics. He taught that numbers revealed the hidden structure of the universe. His society dissected music, astronomy, and geometry as if decoding divine fingerprints. Rumor had it they could predict earthquakes or communicate telepathically. Whether myth or misunderstanding, the world began to see secret societies as more than scholarly groups. They became mysterious, powerful, even supernatural. But the most famous ancient order would emerge in Judea, a group known as the Essenes. Living in the desert near the Dead Sea, they preserved scrolls containing prophecies, rituals, and radical interpretations of Scripture. They rejected the materialism of their age, choosing purity, discipline, and secrecy. When Rome marched across the region, the Essenes hid their vast library in caves. Those scrolls would remain untouched for nearly 2,000 years until discovered by accident in 1947. Some believe the Essenes possessed teachings that challenged the political and religious authorities of their time, ideas that, if revealed, could shift the balance of power. Even today, there are debates about what may still lie hidden in caves not yet discovered. While the ancient world guarded knowledge through priesthoods and philosophical brotherhoods, the Middle Ages would birth a new type of secret order, one forged by battle, bound by loyalty, and wrapped in myth that has only grown with time. The Knights Templar began as humble protectors of pilgrims, but within a few decades, they became one of the most powerful institutions in Europe. They controlled banks, advised kings, and were rumored to possess relics from the Ark of the Covenant to the Holy Grail. Their rituals were secretive, their initiation mysterious, and their loyalty unwavering. Such power made them enemies. On Friday the 13th, 1307, the King of France ordered their arrest. Torture followed. Confessions, many forced, spoke of forbidden rites, secret idols, and shadowy ceremonies. Whether any of it was true remains uncertain. But one thing is clear. When the Templars fell, their secrets did not vanish. Some say surviving members fled to Scotland or Portugal, carrying with them treasure and knowledge too valuable to surrender. It is from these remnant stories that many modern legends of secret societies spring. While the Templars faced swords and fire, another group hid in plain sight. In medieval Europe, alchemists sought the philosopher's stone, the key to immortality and the transformation of metals. Their manuscripts were filled with coded diagrams, strange symbols, and instructions written in riddles. Many believed these codes weren't merely to hide dangerous experiments, but to protect the learned from persecution by rulers and the church. Alchemists pushed the boundaries between science and magic, laying the foundations for chemistry, medicine, and physics, all while cloaked in secrecy. By the Renaissance, the world was shifting. As knowledge expanded, so did the fear of its misuse. In Italy, a shadowy group known as the Hermeticists studied ancient Egyptian wisdom, believing the universe was a reflection of divine intelligence. They embraced astrology, mathematics, and mystical philosophy, arguing that secrets hidden in the stars could unlock human potential. Their influence helped spark scientific curiosity, artistic revolution, and spiritual experimentation. And then came the Rosicrucians, an order whose origins remain tangled in myth. In the 1600s, anonymous manifestos appeared across Europe, claiming the existence of a brotherhood devoted to spiritual enlightenment, healing, and secret wisdom. They sought no followers, no donations, no fame, only truth. Scholars still debate whether the Rosicrucians ever truly existed, or whether they were a philosophical movement disguised as a society. But the idea of hidden knowledge in the hands of a chosen few captivated Europe. By the 18th century, whispers had grown into full-blown conspiracy. The Freemasons emerged as one of the most influential fraternal organizations in history. Unlike many secret orders, they didn't hide from society. They simply hid their rituals. Their symbols, the square, the compass, the all-seeing eye, have become cultural icons. Some accuse them of controlling governments. Others say they only offer fellowship and moral guidance. The truth is probably less dramatic and far more complicated. Their roots may trace back to medieval stonemasons or even earlier mystery traditions. Their influence is undeniable. As the modern world expanded, so did its secret circles. Revolutionary groups used coded messages to ignite uprisings. Intellectual societies exchanged forbidden ideas in candlelit rooms. Even scientific communities developed exclusive networks where discoveries were shared long before they reached the public. What unites these groups across thousands of years is the belief that knowledge, especially powerful knowledge, must be protected. Sometimes for good reason. The ability to heal disease, predict eclipses, forge weapons, or manipulate crowds has always granted extraordinary power, and power without oversight can be dangerous. But there is another side to this story, a darker one. Not all secret societies sought enlightenment. Some sought domination. Throughout history, rulers have formed clandestine groups to spy, eliminate rivals, and control the narrative of their age. The Roman cult of Mithras recruited soldiers with promises of loyalty beyond death. In imperial China, secret brotherhoods shaped politics from the shadows. In parts of West Africa, sacred societies preserved ancestral laws while wielding immense influence over entire communities. Sometimes secrecy protected wisdom, other times it concealed ambition. In every era, people ask the same question: what exactly are these societies hiding? Ancient technology, forbidden rituals, lost scriptures, or something far simpler, the idea that knowledge itself could make a person powerful? Today, secret societies spark imaginations more than ever. Some claim they control global finance, manipulate elections, or steer cultural trends. Others argue they're nothing more than social clubs with elaborate ceremonies. The truth is elusive, wrapped in symbolism and layers of historical exaggeration. Yet one thing remains undeniable: this pattern of hidden knowledge guarded by chosen initiates runs through every civilization. From the sands of Egypt to the courts of medieval Europe, from desert prophets to Renaissance philosophers, the desire to protect sacred knowledge has never faded. Why? Because throughout human history, knowledge has been humanity's most valuable treasure. Empires fall, monuments crumble, kings rise and die. But ideas endure. And many of the world's greatest ideas were once secrets whispered only to the initiated. So when we speak of ancient secret societies, we are not only speaking of hidden chambers, coded symbols, or clandestine meetings. We are speaking of the human instinct to seek what lies beyond the visible, to understand what others cannot, to hold, even for a moment, a truth that feels larger than life. Whether these societies protected the world from dangerous wisdom or hid wisdom from the world is a question history refuses to answer. But one thing is certain: the hidden orders of the past have left their fingerprints on everything, from philosophy to religion, from science to politics, from art to revolution. And somewhere, perhaps in an unopened tomb, a sealed library, or a forgotten cave, more secrets may still be waiting, silent, patient, just like the societies that once guarded them.